was a contender player.
Right.
The place was unbelievable. And that is the big O2 in Dublin, the biggest amphitheatre in Europe. My word, it was an event. People love this walk-on. They've got every right to feel that way. But this is a big, big game. There's a fan zone in Ireland tonight that is watching an all-Irish clash at the World Championship for the first time in 18 years and a day. Jack O'Barry against Mick McGowan on the 19th of December 2007 in a championship won by John Part. That was the last time we had an all-Irish Republic of Ireland game. On that occasion, Mick McGowan won by 3-0. There's so much green on the two dart shirts. Bragging rights are up for grabs, but it's all about getting to the second round.
That's up there with the Mr. Brightside sing-along that Nathan Aspinall gets wherever he goes, and William O'Connor's loving that. Such a lovely fellow, William O'Connor, very softly spoken, from Cappamore in the Republic of Ireland. He's made round 3 a couple of times as the Magpie. Lost to Chris Dobie last year when Dobie was on a bit of a roll.
Good game, that.
It was.
Seriously good game, and a lot of respect between Willie O'Connor and Chris Dobie. But strangely, Dance, Dylan Slevin made his debut here last year. He lost to Florian Hempel by 3-1. That's what we've just seen.
Yep. And I've been watching that backstage and just nodding sagely and said, yep, I know what that's all about. So it's a right-hander against a left-hander. Slevin is the southpaw. Both wearing a lot of emerald green, as you might expect. Plenty of white and orange in there as well in O'Connor's. Probably more predominantly emerald green in Slevin's. A little fist bump, and we're going to get this 5-setter underway. And Slevin will get us underway.
55.
Just 55 for the younger man of the two.
Yeah, Dylan did very well to get to this tournament, because as far as he's concerned, he has not had a good season at all.
Well, he got through the last qualifiers, didn't he?
He did. He came through Jitse van der Waal, Barry Van Peer by 6-0.
I remember how well Barry did here last year.
Indeed. Dylan averaged nearly 103 in that second game, after averaging 100 against Jitse van der Waal, and then took out Martijn Dracht by 7-5 to get back to this championship. And the guaranteed £7,500 in ranking money may just be enough for him to evade Q School in January. Winning this game would ensure his tour safety, something that Willie O'Connor is not worried about.
So Slevin made it through pretty much on the day that the draw was made, and he found out that he'd be playing his compatriot here in round 1. What a day that must have been for him.
161 for O'Connor. They're still singing that song by Cranberries.
Yeah.
If you closed your eyes, you'd think you were in Dublin.
They obviously prefer it to Crazy, Crazy Nights. Have to admit defeat there, don't I?
Don't take it personally.
I won't.
81.
120 left for Slevin, but O'Connor wants 62. Slevin's throw, remember, so a chance to break early. 52 left, 20 for double 16 for William O'Connor.
30.
And he's a good inch outside as the Wasp flies dangerously close to the stage. I just saw it out the corner of my eye.
Well, if that Wasp is wearing green and black, I'm going to be very impressed, because it would be fitting the colour scheme that we're seeing on the stage. Magpie, Willie O'Connor on double 16, 32 left. Has to go north as he's hit the single 16, and then he hits 16 again via the double 8 to take the first leg of the contest. Willie playing in his 8th World Championship, made his debut back in 2018. He's been here ever since, but he's never been past the last 32. He's been there twice, and for someone of his capabilities, I've got to be honest about this, because he's a World Cup finalist. In 2019, he won a Players' Championship event. He has underachieved. He knows it, and he wants to fix that.
He did reach a semi-final in the last Players' Championship floor event of the season, so that's relatively late on in the campaign, which can give something of a pointer to what his form's going to be like here tonight. Slevin coming down from 401, picks up a treble 19. Won 6 of the last 10 matches, Dylan Slevin, in all competitions prior to these championships. And in those qualifiers you were talking about against Van Peer, averaged 100 in 2 of those 3 games.
The talent is there, it's just not consistent enough. And what we're seeing with these 2 guys, the changing of the rules and getting to European Tour events, they've really damaged the form of these 2 players, because they're very hard to get into now. If you don't perform in the qualifiers for European Tour events, your seasons will be on the back foot very quickly at the start of the year. Slevin on 169, only 59 to leave 110, but he's 1-0 down in the first set, but we'll have a chance at that 110 to equalise, with O'Connor bearing down on him.
Coming back from 240 here, William O'Connor with a 140, so he's on a ton, so a chance to break back for Dylan Slevin here. 90 left, went treble 18 and hit single. A ton required for O'Connor. Treble 20 for tops. There's the treble 20. Double top for a 2-0 lead. Underneath, across for double 10. And he's outside the line, so Slevin can break if he can pick off 2 6s here.
Yeah, just go a little bit further up the board towards double 6. Right there, in fact. Right in the middle for Dylan. 1-1 in the first set. This could be a really interesting match.
2 breaks of throw to get us going. Slevin gives the darts the same sort of velocity that Vessel Nyman does. Really launches the dart at the board. You can hear them really thumping into the fibres. If you were going to give a dart player 3 darts, and the aim of the game is to just throw like they do at the board, and you were going to measure the dart and see how far it goes, Dylan Slevin would be an Olympian and definitely on the podium. He throws them like the Thor's hammer. Comes up dry with that visit though, no treble. Went to the 20s, 19s and 18s looking for trebles. O'Connor cradles the dart very daintily in his right hand. The point faces towards the sky. The darts are more lobbed towards the board than launched, the way Slevin does it. And that 20 bed's already getting some punishment from somebody's points, I'm assuming Slevin's.
Yes, absolutely. Slevin's points are about as aggressive as the look of a certain Florian Hempel, because he was staring a hole through the board when he was playing Geoffrey Desvaux just now.
100.
Well, steady ton for O'Connor. Slevin on throw, trying to come down from 286. He hits a steady ton. Problem with Slevin is he's only, what, 20-odd points ahead of O'Connor, who's got 3 darts in hand. And he's made that count with a 140. You can hear Hugh Ware, our scorer, our referee from Wales, taking charge of this one. Another ton from Slevin, but it may be too late in this leg. 68 required for William O'Connor. Looking at treble 20 for double 4. 48 left, 16 for double 16. And he's well inside. And again, he looks to the heavens as he did in the last leg, opening the door for Dylan Slevin on 86.
Looking at the 18s, only gets a single one, so has to switch to the 15s and gets 3 of them. Double top. What a great recovery from Dylan to take a 2-1 lead. I hope O'Connor wasn't watching that, because you don't mind someone taking out 86 if it's a somewhat clean take, but that was anything but. That was a recovery effort at best.
But quick readjustment to know where he wanted to go from hitting the single one. Treble 15 and tops taken out with very little waste of time.
58.
So Slevin finds himself 2-1 up from being 1-0 down in this opening set. Still Micah van Gerwen to come tonight here on talkSPORT 2 against James Horrell, who came through his opening match against the Canadian Jim Long. What form is MVG going to show at the start of these championships? Are we going to get any sort of pointer that he is a contender, genuine contender, with the performance he puts in, the average he posts? We'll find out later.
If he wins tonight, I think his post-match interview will be fascinating, because nobody, and I mean nobody, in the analysts fraternity has tipped him to win this tournament, and that will not sit well with him. O'Connor on 149 has got a treble 20, treble 19 incoming. He doesn't get that, so Slevin is going to have 167 to win the first set, and he's hit this finish on the stage before last year. Not this time.
You can hear the thump of the dart. It's like a bass drum. O'Connor wants double 16. Pins it. Nice two-dart kill, efficient, of 52 to take us to a deciding leg in set one.
Do you remember who Willie O'Connor played 2 years ago? And the clue is that person has only played here once, but has gone on to win 2 more World Championships since.
Mikura Suzuki?
Bo Greaves.
Ah.
When Greaves made her debut here 2 years ago, she was pitted against Willie O'Connor. He won by 3-0. That was a flattering result, as Dylan Slevin gets a Robin Hood riding through the Glen.
That's where the one dart lands in the point of one dart lands in the stem of one of the darts already in the board, a la Kevin Costner in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Indeed. Yes, O'Connor won 3-0 against Greaves 2 years ago, meaning that if he loses this match, he loses ranking points. But when he beat Bo, he beat her 3-2, 3-2, 3-0. But I can tell you, in that match, it was very tight. 3-0 was flattering, but it was still a brilliant performance from O'Connor, who averaged 94. At the minute, he's averaging almost 91, and this is very much in the balance.
60.
Just 60 scored. This is a nervy deciding leg from both. 191 Slevin, 261 O'Connor. You can't find a treble between them.
59.
So, still a slight advantage for Slevin. And he'll get down to a finish from this. 120 points scored. Tries to pick off treble 13, gets a single, but he's down to 58 for the set.
202 for O'Connor. He's treble-less with the first 2 and make that all 3. Slevin did win his first set on the stage last year against Hempel. He's on the cusp of winning this one. Double top for a 58 checkout.
18.
Doesn't go, the 2 darts were above. So O'Connor back in for 142 for the set. That won't go. Single 20. Goes for bullet, hits 25. 97 left and only picks off single 19. Tops again for Slevin. And that's the first set. Master against apprentice is going the way of apprentice so far in this all-Irish first-round affair. Only an average of 83 for Dylan Slevin, but he's 60% on his doubles. And he takes an early lead against his fellow Irishman, William O'Connor. Second set on the way here on talkSPORT 2, your home of darts on the radio at the PDC World Championships.
talkSPORT 2.
Exclusive coverage of the 2025 PDC Darts World Championship.
Live on talkSPORT 2.
Yeah, we're not just your home of darts on the radio. talkSPORT 2 also your home of the EFL. Lots of action tonight in the Championship League 1 and League 2. It looks like Luton have snatched all 3 points right at the end against Derby County in the Championship. They were 1-0 down, but they are now 2-1 ahead. Carlton Morris with a 92nd minute winner. Tom Holmes had only equalised for Luton in the 89th minute. Dramatic end at Kenilworth Road. These are full times in League 1. Cambridge 0, Huddersfield 4, Stockport 2, Peterborough 1, and Wickham 0, Bolton 0. The leaders held at Adams Park. In League 2, full times, Crewe 0, Colchester 0, and Gillingham 2, Cheltenham 2. In Scotland, 10-man Motherwell earned a 1-1 draw against Kilmarnock. Harry Kane back for Bayern Munich tonight as they thrashed RB Leipzig by 5-1 in the Bundesliga. And here at Ali Pali, in a first-round encounter, two Irishmen going head-to-head, and it's the younger man, 22-year-old Dylan Slevin, who leads the vastly experienced William O'Connor, having taken that first set, but only with an average of 83. His average for the season is just a shade over 90, with a 42% win rate. 93.6 average for William O'Connor in 2024, and he gets set 2 underway, Paul Nicholson.
He does, with 96, courtesy of 419s. But looking into their seasons, they have something very similar
59
in common when it comes to stage action over the course of the entire year. Now, when we do these statistics, we start from the 4th of January of the year. That's the first day after the World Championship final. So, since that day, William O'Connor in 2024 has won 1 game on the stage all year. 1. That was against Mervyn King in Riesa in Germany at the International Darts Open. That's it. Every game he's played, either before or after that, he's lost, and there haven't been many. As for Slevin, he's won 2. 3 together is not enough. Someone's going to get another one here. This will be the biggest win of their season, in my opinion, by some distance.
O'Connor at 250, slightly behind Slevin after 9 darts apiece. 204 for the younger man. Picks off treble 19 twice to get down to a 2-dart kill of 70, but O'Connor can take out 154 here. First 2 parts are done. Double 17, but he's a good 2 inches lower than that bed.
That was a great effort on the 2 treble 20s, but the double 17 wasn't a good dart. Slevin on 70. Treble 18's found, but he's missed double 8 with the first one. Last dart incoming, and that was powerful. He just threw that dart at the previous one and said, "Let me in." And it did let him in. That's the first leg of the next set to Dylan Slevin, and Willie O'Connor is looking disconsolate on the stage.
41.
Accepting of his fate almost, the way he gently nodded his head as that dart skewered into double 8.
When you look at this section of the draw, this is open for interpretation, probably more than any section in the draw.
Yeah, Dimitri waits for the winner, Dimitri van den Berg, that is, for those unaware.
Don't get me started on his form. He's either winning majors or not winning any games at all. So hard to interpret. So that is perceivably winnable. Then you got Schindler and Callan Rids. That'll be interesting. You got Dave Chisnell, Ricky Evans, and Robert Owen. That's in that section of the draw.
Well, Rids impressed. Had a 118 average in his first set, winning the other day.
We talked about one section of the draw. You go a little bit further up, you got Ross Smith, Gary Anderson, Brendan Dolan and Michael van Gerwen. So if you want to win this quarter, that's where your danger men are.
Waiting later on down the line. Slevin down to 120 in this second leg. He's 1 set up and 1 leg up. O'Connor with a more methodical, orthodox action.
58.
But he's coming up dry with trebles.
120.
And now Slevin wants single 20. Oh, he's hit tops. He wants double 10 for a 120 checkout, and he's just inside.
Now this is a big ask for O'Connor for the second consecutive leg. 154 he couldn't take in the previous leg, and he's not going to take 150 here. It's trebleless again, and he can only leave 92 with Slevin on double 5, which he finds with the first dart for 2-0 in the second set. Willie O'Connor looks like someone who has found an unlimited pints token for Guinness, and the pub's been shut.
And Slevin is twice as good on his doubling as his senior opponent. 56% on his doubles. He's hit 5 of 9 attempts, whilst Willie O'Connor has only hit a quarter of his, 2 of 8. So the pattern of the game is continuing on from where it was at the end of the first set,
59.
with O'Connor losing his way and losing his average point by point. Slevin's average is edging up towards 100 here.
99.
Now one person is improving, the other one is slipping. This is peculiar because O'Connor is a brilliant dart player, but for some reason, when it comes to the winter time, we just don't see his best consistently. He might go down as one of the best Irish dart players of all time when it's all said and done.
98.
Because he's a World Cup finalist with Steve Lennon, who didn't qualify for this tournament. He is a Players' Championship winner, but that was nearly 6 years ago. Willie O'Connor's talent is so much better than this, but it's not being proven.
And another trebleless visit just to hammer that point home that Paul Nicholson was making. 145 O'Connor. It's on his throw this third leg. Slevin starting from 204, 38 scored.
57.
Picks off a single 19. So he's on a finish at 147. O'Connor gets first dibs at 145. Treble 20 hit. Oh, he wanted treble 15 and landed next door in treble 2. That kind of sums him up so far tonight.
So does that third dart. He went for treble 19 and hit a big 3. That leaves 76. Slevin's got 147 for the set to win it by 3 legs to 0. There goes that effort. He's north of the 60, but the adjustment's good. He leaves himself on 50. Can O'Connor punch back with 76?
He needs a pick-me-up. 56 left, 16 for tops. 16 hit, 1 dart at double top, but he's not happy with the lie of the first dart. He's having to shift across to the right of the oche. And as a consequence, he goes over the top. He almost thought, yep, I'm going to miss this before it even threw it.
Absolutely right. He doesn't look like a glass half empty. He looks like the glass is empty. Double 10 on the last dart for Slevin, and he's already missed 2 set darts.
So he's let O'Connor back in, who can just reset here. 3 darts in his hand for tops. Way above, an inch above, maybe more. But that's better. Just clips the wire on the top and goes inside the bed. But he's still shaking his head as he goes back to the rear of the stage. William O'Connor, knowing that Slevin has the darts in leg 4, serving for the set.
If Willie O'Connor keeps shaking his head this way, he's going to have to be called a David Gray tribute act, because this head shaking's got to stop. If he's going to fight his way through this match,
59.
he's got to talk to himself a bit more positively.
Again, a trebleless visit, so it's 12 apiece in that column. So Slevin, whose darts are really starting to pepper that 20 bed all around the single and the treble, ripping those fibres out the board. These boards get reused, they get given to practice boards, sometimes charities get them, they're signed by players and donated to worthy causes once they're used in these World Championship matches.
99.
If Dylan Slevin gets involved in the 13th setter, they're going to be changing the board twice.
It's unbelievable how much he's chewed up that treble 20 with those points. There was a very big debate about those points a couple of years ago, and we haven't seen
what hit specifically.
Dylan, Simon Whitlock,
Yeah.
Mickey Mansell, That's a 180 for Slevin. That leaves him on 68 for the set, because O'Connor has got 100 more than that, and you can't finish 168.
94.
94, that's the first treble he's picked off in some time, Willie O'Connor. But 68 for the set for Slevin. Just takes a breath. He's hit treble 20, double 4. Slams into the outside of it, but pins it with the final dart. And we have a 2-0 lead for the 22-year-old Dylan Slevin. Has got his compatriot Willie O'Connor on the ropes here in round 1 at Ali Pali. We'll play to a finish next. Can O'Connor find the way back? Because as far as Ocean Slevin is concerned, he's nosed it right up so far. You're in talkSPORT 2.
talkSPORT 2, official broadcast partner of the EFL.
Go outdoors, discover freedom. Well, jingle my bells, Moonpigs.
It's not fair on the other players.
Trying to find something a bit different.
The thing is,
why not add some flavor?
Delivery. You in? Delivery only from 11 a.m. 4 times selected burgers, 4 times selected fries. Subject to availability. Price, delivery fee and participation may vary.
The 2025 PDC Darts World Championship.
Live on talkSPORT 2.
Wins earlier today, Alexandra Palace for Alexander Merckx. Vessel Nyman, just Ian White by way of a walkover. And Stephen Bunting, the bullet, got through 3-1 against Kai Gotthardt. And tonight, Mickey Mansell edged out Tomoyo Goto by 3-1. Same scoreline for Florian Hempel to dump out Jeffrey Desvan. But right now, Dylan Slevin of the Republic of Ireland up against his fellow Irishman, William O'Connor, finds himself 2-0 up. But Paul Nicholson and myself, Ian Danter, have been having a debate about the state of the board because of the sandpaper points on Slevin's darts that are, every time he pulls them out of the bed, ripping fibres that are now, white fibres that are now visible around that 20, Nico.
It's amazing how much Simon Whitlock was a scapegoat for this topic. He's not even in this tournament and we're still having this debate. The boards are better than they have been in previous times. This board that they've got on the wall, the Winmore Triple Core, carbon is the best board that is made in the world.
140.
But my argument for Slevin's points is that he is changing the playing surface, not necessarily for himself, but for Willie O'Connor. Is that why Willie is not winning this match? Probably not. However, I think there's an argument to be had here.
Given the velocity with which Slevin's darts land in that board, he doesn't need the sandpaper points necessarily to keep them in position, does he?
I don't think so. But then again,
that's presumably why he's got them.
This is something that should be talked about with the board manufacturer, the Professional Dart Players Association, and the tournament director, and the PDC. They have decided not to bring in the ban of these points, which was supposed to be just under 2 years ago. Less people are using them now, but this is still a small issue.
Well, there was a conversation between Hugh Ware, the referee, and the staff here about whether the board should be changed. Even though only 2 sets have been played with it, they elected to stay with the board they started with.
Well, let me put it to you this way. At the start of this match, I think we were about 2 legs in. I looked at the treble 20 and I wondered if they hadn't changed the board from the previous game.
Yeah. William O'Connor under severe pressure from his fellow Irishman, but a good couple of pick-offs of treble 19 puts him on 82. Slevin trying to set up from 124. He leaves himself on 68, but O'Connor can break at the start of this 3rd set. 2 sets to 0 down. O'Connor, bull for double 16. Bull hit. Double 16. On the wire, good marker. Oh, he's gone further away.
I don't think he believed he was going to hit that.
Like that double top before.
Absolutely, that was a beautiful bullseye. But the first start of double 16 shielded it a little bit, and he wasn't able to use a marker, whereas Slevin is now on 68. That's a fortunate treble 5, and he's missed the single 13 by a mile. And he has launched that last start at the single 7 with authority. O'Connor is back for the break on double 16. Can he get double 8? He must find a break soon. He's missed it left by a centimetre.
That's better. That's better, William O'Connor. Now, does that act as a catalyst for better form from the more experienced player up there?
It doesn't look like it, though, does it?
No,
he's just broken in the first leg of the 3rd set. You draw a line under what's happened in the previous 2 sets, and you say to yourself, right, OK, let's start from here. Let's beat this guy 3 sets to 0. 1 set at a time. Mission 1, break him in leg 1. Mission accomplished. That should bring a little bit more of a good attitude, but it feels as if this game has got the better of O'Connor to this point.
So a ton apiece to start leg 2. So at least O'Connor's got something to work with here in set 3. He's got a break of throw from which to base his game.
Here's something else about O'Connor. When he has played on the stage this year, his doubles percentage is 28%, and in this game it's 25%. It's happening again.
Well, Slevin pops in a 140, and O'Connor finds himself behind, having just broken the throw. Slevin immediately trying to get back on terms here, and a treble 18 in the nick of time for O'Connor. But again, even though he retrieves that treble 18, he's not happy with it. Another 140 for Slevin probably compounds his unhappiness.
Well, that was a fierce last dart, wasn't it? It was one of those darts that hits another one and says, get out of my way.
I do hope it's coming across to you wherever you're listening to talkSPORT 2. If you joined our watch along on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to and pick up watch along. Slevin wants bullseye, and you can hear, I hope, just how hard those Slevin darts are hitting the board. He gives them a real old wallop from his left arm. O'Connor gets down to 12, but Slevin wants 25 to break back. 9 hit, double 8 hit, break back achieved. 1-1, and a sigh from Willie O'Connor at the back of the stage. A resigned shrug.
He looks like he's empty at the minute. He looks like he's got no positivity at all. This is still a winnable situation. It's hard, admittedly, when your opponent is hitting a 180 like that against you. It's only the second of the match. But O'Connor has got to dig as deep as he can. And if he doesn't, sometime soon, this game could be over in the next 2 or 3 legs.
Well, the Magpie does look full of sorrow right now. Not much joy to be had for the senior Irishman up there of these two. Dylan Slevin, there's a spring in his step, and not just because of his shoes he's wearing.
Yeah, I had a debate with you just before the second set. The footwear that Dylan's got are akin to what runners would use in mountainous regions. They're very firm and very springy. I don't think they're the right kind of footwear to play darts in, because they actually are designed to make you spring up, and that's not what a dart player wants.
To the floor, yeah.
You need to be solid on the ground.
Well, 1-3-4 for O'Connor. Won't go, hits a 4, 130 left. Make that 70 left with a nice treble 20. Goes for treble 18, picks off a single. 121 could go for Slevin here. Hits the treble 20, treble 11, single 11, bull! Way off. Hits 17 instead.
Yeah, that dart would have made a different sound if he hit the bull.
Would have gone through the centre of the board and into the backstage area probably. Double 16 for O'Connor, and he just yelps, come on! Trying to motivate himself as much as anything as he looks across to his friends and family in the VIP area. It's 3 breaks to throw in a row in this third set.
I think the most important thing that Willie O'Connor did was happening before he hit that double 16, because he looked at that board with some ferocity, with some gumption, with some motivation. He then hits the double 16, and his next 3 darts are maximum. If there's going to be a comeback, it's just started.
Let's see if that's a turning point, a genuine turning point in this contest. Can't follow up the maximum with a second maximum, but he's down to 2-2-5 already in this leg, looking to get a set back on Dylan Slevin, who's a good 100-odd points behind.
We're about to find out what Willie O'Connor does when he's metaphorically on the ropes, but he has actually been on the ropes literally, doing some white-collar boxing, and he's rather good at it. Oh, and now they're giving some, both of these two. This could get really good really soon. 1-2-5 O'Connor. It is for the set. He's focusing on the 20s for now, looking to leave tops. Doesn't do it. So Slevin can pressurize from 1-8-3. He's 2-1 down in the third, being 2-0 up on talkSPORT 2.
Needs a treble. Well, he went for the bullseye and hit 25, so 65 leads 118. 70 for O'Connor for the set to make it 2-1 and get back into this contest. Down for double 16, and he pins it. It's a 2-dot finish done in 3. 70 cleared up by O'Connor, and he's taken the third set to get a foothold in this encounter. 2-1 Slevin leads, and now O'Connor has the darts to start set 4.
Well, that's something to build on, isn't it? Averaged 96.39 in that third set. And based on what we've seen in this contest so far, if he replicates that 2 more times, it will be enough to win. He has dug deep to get that first set on the board. Slevin right now is the second best player on the stage. All my things are changing right now, and this is getting very interesting at all.
Dylan Slevin's second year on the Pro Tour, not as productive as his first.
140.
He lost to Hempel last year by 3-1 at the World Championships. And it sort of set the tone for a year where he's not really been quite at the levels he would want to be, but perhaps motivated by the fact he's playing his fellow countrymen.
58.
He looks very, very focused up there. He's not letting errant darts get to him the way that errant darts are getting to William O'Connor.
That's correct. but there's a strange symbiosis happening with who we're watching, who we're listening to, and who's prospectively an opponent, because we've already seen Florian Hempel win tonight against Jeffrey de Zwaan. Last year, Slevin was beaten by Hempel. And then, of course, when Hempel was winning last year, he beat Dimitri Vandenberg. And over the course of that brilliant game, Hempel was the first person in World Championship history to have 2 10-darters in a row. And the winner of this game plays Dimitri Vandenberg,
who is not in scintillating form right now.
No, he isn't, and even he would have to admit that.
But that's a long way in the distance, finding out who's going to be Dimitri's opponent. Actually, now Slevin just starting to show a little bit of irritation at his lack of form. And then O'Connor from 87 hits single 2, where it goes for treble 15 and misses it. And they are both grizzling up there. They are both... Well, they've both got a right old cob on. O'Connor looks for treble 18 and hits single, and Paul Nicholson looks quizzically at me.
And Slevin on 138, he's nowhere near it. Treble 5 to start will never help. And that last dart was flung away. It got a small fall. Looking at the centre of the board to leave 99. That has not worked out at all. O'Connor on 52, a very safe 20 at the top. Double 16. It really is starting to work, Dance. He's still shaking his head. Why are you doing this, Willie O'Connor? You are winning this game as it stands right now. You are on the charge and your opponent is not stopping you. Stop shaking your head. Maybe he's playing reverse psychology with himself, I don't know.
Well, players motivate themselves in different ways, I suppose. Some are stoic and give nothing away. Some are incredibly passionate.
61.
William O'Connor somewhere in the middle. He's just had a bounce out at 61. His last dart caught the flight of his first dart. Slevin, meantime, pops in his first 140 for a little while. Just to remind everybody that he has played well in the early part of this match.
Yeah, both have got 7 140s now.
100.
Slevin has 2 maximums. O'Connor has just the 1. But the doubles percentage has improved for O'Connor since the end of the second set by 12%. That's exponential, really, in a game like this. Slevin, however, who is 1-0 down in the fourth, is on 161 after 9. O'Connor back on 340. That visit is okay, but he needs errors from Slevin if he has any dreams of going 2-0 up, which I don't think are going to come.
84 left for Dylan Slevin. Will he go back to 20s? No, he's staying at the bottom of the board. No, he's hit treble 20. Leave himself on double 12. 244 left for Willie O'Connor. We want to get down to a finish, and he may not. 204. Oh, great pick-off of treble 18.
Just in case, Slevin on double 12 then. High by 1.5 centimetres. Getting closer. Not close enough with all 3. Graduated his way towards the double 12 wire, but he's still on 24 and O'Connor's on 150. First start does not find the requisite treble 20 that he needed, but he can pressurise here with the 134, courtesy of 2 treble 19s. This is not a gimme.
And he misses double 12, does Slevin. 2 darts in his hand at double 6. The first is 1 inch wide. And the last one grazes the wire on the outside. And now Slevin's double percentage is dipped below that of O'Connor, who wants 2 8s. Oh, he busts it on double 16. The bed next door. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, an impish grin on the face of O'Connor, but inside that hurt.
The double 16 bed has been his best friend, but now it's his worst enemy. Double 6 for Slevin. That's 7 darts at double in this leg. Make that 8. Double 3. My word, he's handing this leg to O'Connor on a plate at a glacial pace. Slevin leaves 3. O'Connor's on double 8 for 2-0 in the fourth. Everything's changing.
Double 8 again then. That's better, Willie O'Connor. And the Magpie goes 2-0 up in the fourth set, trying to draw level and take us to a decider. And he's got the darts in leg 3.
What do Magpies do? They pick up the scraps. That's what he's just done. And I think if O'Connor's going to win this match, I think he needs to win this fourth set by either 3 legs to 0 or 3 legs to 1. Because what you do in set play in this position is you stop your opponent getting into a position where if he wins the next leg, he wins the match. If you keep them at one leg in a set, you can win quite comfortably.
Well, in leg play, he's 8-7 up, Willie O'Connor. But in set play, he's still down. Only 60 scored for O'Connor. Slevin trying to get an advantage of half a dart, maybe. 83 scored will be quite handy for the younger man. 395 plays 318 after 6 darts apiece.
100.
A ton for O'Connor, and he can't work out whether that's good or bad. He's shaking his head again. This is Graham Taylor all over your head. Don't shake your head.
58.
To the journalist, don't shake your head.
If only he could hear you. But this situation is very workable right now. Don't beat yourself. You've got yourself into a very positive position. At this point, do not cut off your nose to spite your face. Just get the job done in set 4 and then make your opponent hurt, knowing they've lost the last 2 sets.
Slevin's got down to a finish of 160 in this third leg. O'Connor with the darts looking to close out the set, but he's struggling to get down to a finish himself. Very important 25 to leave himself on the big fish, 170. Slevin wants 2 treble 20s, doesn't get them. Needed them for double top, but he's left himself on double 10.
Well, this would be some way to take the set. 170. First 60, yes. Second one is a no. 105 to leave 65 is going to have to do, but Slevin has not hit a double in a while. Double 10 he's got. Misses it with a centimetre outside, and the next one is good. He can't believe he's just hit a double. You better believe it, it's 2-1 in the 4th. O'Connor's still in front, but this is a big leg now, because Willie, if he doesn't win this leg, he will have to win the next one to make sure the game has got another set.
Oh, and a maximum from Slevin, having broken back in that third leg. Can O'Connor match him? Not quite. The second dart of this visit drops into small 20, and 100 will have to do.
We were watching Kevin Dutz last night with a performance of his career against Michael Smith. When he had what is perceived as bad luck, a bit like that Robin Hood, a second one of the game for Dylan Slevin. What did Kevin Dutz not do in the final 2 sets? He didn't shake his head. No. He didn't panic. He stayed patient. He stayed focused.
28.
What Willie O'Connor needs to do right now is massage his inner Kevin Dutz. If he doesn't, he'll probably lose.
Slevin pops in the second 180 of this leg to get down to 61. He's suddenly found his mojo again, Dylan Slevin.
He's thrown 9 darts in this leg. He's scored with 8. So he's on 61 after 8 darts.
55.
Chance for an 11-dart leg for Dylan Slevin. 25 for double 18, or 15, and then 6 for double top.
21.
And he's just over the top. But O'Connor, well, he's way back in Temple Bar on 318.
Yeah, he's got 278 deficit here, O'Connor. Even if he hits a maximum, he's still going to rely on misses. Well, there's the maximum. That's a somewhat ironic celebration. He leaves 138 for the set if Slevin doesn't hit tops to take it to 2-2 in the 4th.
Underneath on top, so double 10, way inside on double 10, and misses double 5. So 138, the Della outshot is there for William O'Connor.
He's going the Humphries route on the 19s. He's got 3 of them, needs another 3. It's weak, it's underneath by a good inch, and he knows why he missed that. He didn't throw it hard enough. So he's left 50 as O'Connor for the set. Slevin's on a tricky double 5 and hits it with the first dart. It's a 1-leg shootout in set 4. If Slevin wins against the darts, he wins the match. If O'Connor wins it, we go to a final set.
talkSPORT 2, your home of darts on the radio. The talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel is also there for watch-alongs and for interviews with the great and the good from the PDC. It's a lovely chat I had with Kevin Dutz last night, who we just talked about, who could barely process what he had just done in beating Michael Smith. You'll find that as part of our content. Subscribe now. We'd very much like you to be part of our family.
Do you want to know what social media was saying last night after that match? They're saying he's a better player now because he's got a fringe.
100.
That's how ludicrous.
That's no more ludicrous than me saying he's the better player because he's got Kiss Rock and Roll All Night as his walk-on music.
Well, that means that Slevin's going to win this one then.
40.
Can't deny it. Only 40 scored from O'Connor, and he trudges dejectedly towards the board, while Slevin powers in a treble with his first start. 140. It's edging towards Slevin here. 319 plays 180 after 9 darts. O'Connor's shaking his head mid-throw. He picks up another trebleless visit, covers his face with his hands. It's all going wrong at precisely the wrong moment for the Magpie.
Well, let's not forget as well, O'Connor was 2-0 up in this set. He was on the comeback trail, but it feels, since he was 2-0 up, like he's hit the wall. And Slevin has been picking up the scraps himself. He's now got 80 points to win this match. O'Connor at 164, Slevin 80. It's 120, 220s, tops to win.
And he's just underneath. Third biggest finish on the board for Willie O'Connor. He went the 19th route again, it didn't come off for him. So Slevin's going to be back in, Nico, for 2 10s to win the Battle of the Republic of Ireland here.
It's not double Slevin, it's double 10. He misses it just to the right. He adjusts on the oche and misses it left this time. Double 5! And Dylan does win in the first round for the second consecutive year. He doesn't look particularly happy about it. Sometimes you have to beat your compatriots on the stage. And in the first All-Ireland game in a PDC World Championship for over 18 years, this one is won by Dylan Slevin by 3 sets to 1.
The 22-year-old goes through to face the Belgian dancing Dimitri van den Berg in the next round. Some nice words between the two before O'Connor trudges off stage left, having gone out of the first round stage. But Slevin marches on, and the left-hander plays the Dream Maker in the next round. Michael van Gerwen dreams of a 4th world title. He starts his quest for that. Next up on talkSPORT 2, taking on James Hurrell and Chris Mason. And Mark Wilson will be back with you on talkSPORT 2 to guide you through it next.